Okay, a bit of a restore project here. Old British Silver Seagull outboard motor. Probably around the 2 horsepower area, I would think. It's pretty much all here and fairly straight. Now we're off to a reasonably good start because it does have compression. Don't know about spark. Aftermarket silicon spark plug lead, which I'm going to change back to a wire lead if I can find one laying in my junk pile somewhere, just to keep it original. Carburetor doesn't look so happy up there. That might be the only problem with it, but we're going to give it a total strip down and a clean up. Rings are okay, enough compression there for a 2-stroke to run. Seals and bearings on the crank we'll check out when we get there. One of our little brackets here is bent. Now I'm not sure what this is made out of. It looks like it's actually brass, so we'll have to see how we go, whether I'm going to attempt to straighten that or not. Other than that, that's it. We've gone and bought the essentials. New die grinder, buffing wheels, and sandpaper, a couple of tins of paint, and of course degreaser. So I'm actually going to time this restore and see how long it actually does take to do this. Now, one of the problems we're going to have, British being the British with their Whitworth size nuts and bolts, is probably undoing some of them, because I do not have Whitworth, all metric and AF here. So I do have a couple of Whitworth spanners laying around, but from the old Land Rover days, but I think most of them are still out the farm, so I think some of these might be getting tackled with the good old shifter. Anyway, let's start the restoration project, and we'll come back in between bits and pieces of the restore and have a look, see how we're going, see how things look inside. Okay, so we've got it stripped down. 25 minutes to strip it, due to the fact that some of the bolts were very stuck, and of course we don't have the right size spanners. Like I said, these are all British Whitworth, but the problem was solved by using single hex metric. Of course we go up 1 mil at a time, and that was enough to get all the bolts undone. I mean, one of the bolt sizes, or the head sizes of the nuts and bolts with British Whitworth, the most common one on this would be the 5/16 size, which is in between 13 and 14 millimeters. So the 14 mil single hex socket saved the day. No problem at all getting them undone with those. I did think the flywheel was going to be big trouble. As you can see, that is not very nice on the flywheel side of the crank, and it was fairly rusted, but to my surprise, thanks to the 5 odd mil end float these motors have, I just lifted the motor up by the flywheel and with the nut fully on gave it a quick crack with a hammer, and it popped right off. So bonus. Of course I've got to undo the big end, a split conrod on here, as in a 2-piece big end journal, and I can't see any rollers in there, so I'm thinking it may even be a brass bearing. We'll soon find out. Yes, came with damage getting it undone, but that's what you get. I was going to remove the piston, however I think Junior has been over to the workshop here and borrowed Dad's circlip removal pliers, because they are not in the toolbox. So we will have to go for a journey over to Junior's and retrieve Dad's tools. As you can see here, the bearings are all brass bearings, no rollers, and no seals, just brass. So we won't be replacing any of them, and they were all Mickey Mouse anyway, as is the crank itself. surfaces are very good. I'm just going to stick this in the lathe when I get the con rod off and clean this end up. Now the other problem we got here, we're starting to have some separation of the balance plate on the opposite side of the magnets. So the old osmosis of the aluminium is starting to take place and pushing that apart. So I'm going to have a little look-see in there and see what I can do, but not much I don't think. But we got to get rid of that lip that's sticking out, because that's not going to do us any favours. Our magnets, fortunately, are still very strong, so we shouldn't have any problem with the spark. We have, of course, the ever reliable set of points here, and a nice big coil as well, which we will be stripping down and cleaning, of course. Carburetor, the slide is stuck in the carby. This being open has obviously grabbed some salt air or a little bit of salt water and then parked up and left. But thankfully the bottom all unbolts from the bowl, the slide body, and hopefully we should be able to get that out with too much trouble. Barrel is in pretty good nick. I'm just going to give it a very quick touch up with the hone, not too much, just to knock off. It does have a little bit of rust in there, but if we hone that out it should come up alright. Piston rings, extra large. I used to build the shit out of these things back in the early days. They're both good. Not going to worry about ring gap, because of course we're not going to be able to do too much about getting a set of rings for this thing, I wouldn't have thought, unless we get in touch with someone over in England and see if we can still get them. But not worth it, it's still a good compression, so we won't be worrying about that. Now the other problem I have, here is the head. As you can see, the fuel tank is still attached. The head is aluminium, and the studs going through our bit of aluminium here are both stuck, and I don't want to crack them too hard, otherwise we might knock the aluminium clean off. So another thing we've got to work on as well. Alright, so next we're going to start cleaning this up. The rest of it is outside, it's all in pieces. Got to check the impeller for the water pump, but as far as I can remember, they were either a brass or a stainless steel impeller, not a rubber one like you get these days. So hopefully that's the case, and we'll be all good with that. Alright, so I'm going to start cleaning now, and I think I might start with this flywheel because that's going to give me the biggest headache. So we'll come back and have a look how we ended up with that. Okay, so the flywheel's looking a little better. It's quite amazing what you can do with a wire buff wheel. As you can see here, I broke that little bit out as it was all going rotten behind the aluminium. That's because of the steel counterweights they've got in there, and they've actually left, wherever it is, you can see here they have two holes in there from when they put the steel insert in, the counterweight, and that allows the salt air and water to get in there and cause that bit of drama. So I'm going to pour some rust kill stuff down there, let it soak in overnight, rinse it out with alcohol, and then I'll just put a bit of 2-pack epoxy on there just to seal it up again. But it's come up alright. Our cam lobe surface area is nice and smooth. Probably give it a wet and dry, nice fine touch up, make sure it's really smooth, and other than that it's not too bad. I might even stick it in the lathe and just take a skim off it, bring it back to Mickey Mouse smooth again, make it look really nice. That's how we go. We've given the barrel the big once over with the wire buff as well, ready to be painted. I also gave it a hone, quick hone. It's all good, so good enough what we're doing. There's a bit of marking in the barrel, but nothing that a bit of carbon won't take care of a little down the track. So next we'll tackle the crankcases and see how we go with them. Okay, so our two crankcase halves are clean. I put the crank in the lathe and cleaned up all the tapered shaft on it and the thread end. Flywheel's all done. Piston decarbonised, ready to go back in. Barrel's all done. Even the spark plug has come up pretty good, and it's a very large spark plug. I wouldn't like to try and buy one of them, but I think that one will be alright. Left to do carby and try and get the head off the fuel tank somehow. It's those two bolts there that are the problem. Studs, should I say. The nuts I've got off, but the studs have rotted inside the aluminium and I do not want to break them off. And of course, being a fuel tank, it's a bit dodgy sticking some heat on there, but I could probably fill it up with water and give it a little bit of hot. We'll have to see how we go with that. So once the head is done, we can put the motor back together. We'll then tackle the carburetor, and as you can see, nice little brass bearings on the big end, and I dare say it will be the same on the little end. Will just be a brass bush in there. Rings are okay. So yeah, so far so good. Of course, we do not have to do crankshaft seals or bearings because it does not have any seals. We just rely on the oil to create the seal there. But, there you go, old school engineering, and I'm pretty confident this will still run quite fine when it's all back together. I bought this for $10 on a bidding site on good old Facebook, and the old fella that owned it said it hasn't been running since 1992. So we'll see how we go with that. That'll be the end of this video. Next one we should have the head off, carby all done. We'll reassemble the motor and then we'll start on the leg. Cheers guys.